Hey guys, this is Raga. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, a very big welcome to all of you and thank you for subscribing to my channel, and stay tuned because I have a ton of videos lined up for my channel, both based on suggestions that I get from YouTube and Instagram and also based on topics that I think you all will be interested to know about, whether it's with regards to the US Emily's or with residency, etc. So for today's video, as the title of the video suggests, it's going to be based on something that so many of you have been requesting me to talk about, which is how to apply and get into residency in Dubai. Now, ever since I posted the video of my update, or where I announced that I'd matched into general surgery residency in Dubai, many of you have been asking me, how do you apply there and how do you get into residency there? And for that reason, I did not want to delay this video and I wanted to post it as soon as possible. Even though I had so many videos lined up already for you guys, I thought, why not make this video instead? Now, another question that many of you have been asking is, do you need the US Emily's in order to get into residency in Dubai? Well, the simple answer to that question is no, you do not need the US Emily's in order to apply and hopefully get accepted into residency in Dubai. However, if you do have the US Emily's or other international licensing exams on your CV when you apply here, it is obviously a positive for you because the residency program directors and the board of directors themselves look at that as a positive, and that you have been exposed to those kind of exams and you have been training yourself to take these international exams. So it can be a positive on your CV, but it is definitely not something that you need, or it's not a requirement that you need to have before you apply to residency in Dubai. So now let me get into the steps of how to apply to residency in Dubai. Now, step number one is that you need to take the MStrex exam. Now, this is a qualifying exam that you need to take, which is specific to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So these two Emirates require you to get a good score in this exam before you apply to these residency programs. You will be able to get a lot more information about the MStrex online. You'll be redirected to a website where you can access the information about these exams, about what kind of questions they would ask, how many questions are in the exam, and how long you will be tested for, and also the dates for the exam. Now, in general, these exams are held from December. So December is usually the first date of the exam, and it runs all the way up to March. There are 5 total exam dates that you can apply for, so don't worry if you aren't able to take the very first exam in December. You have your chances of applying for the exams in January, February, or March. Now, with regards to the grade that you need to get in this exam, is a scoring out of 100. So you need to get a very high score in order to qualify for the interviews. And I can talk to you guys more about how to prepare for this exam, but that is a whole other video. And just let me know if you want me to make a separate video about how to prepare for this exam and the material you need to use to prepare for this exam. Please leave a comment in the comments bar below and I'll work on that video too for you guys. Another thing I want to mention is about where do you take the exam, the MStrex exam. Unfortunately, the MStrex exam can only be taken in Dubai. Well, specifically in Al Ain. There's a specific college in Al Ain where you have to take the exam. Unfortunately, you cannot take this exam anywhere in the world. You need to be in Dubai in order to take this exam, specifically in that test center, in that college in Al Ain. And even for me, it was a very long drive to go there. It was about, I think, 2 hours or 1.5 hour drive to Al Ain, so I had to drive there for the exam. However, that doesn't matter when you know that the outcome is going to be so worth it. Then you will have to send out your applications to the residency programs, and you can send out applications to both Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Yes, so by taking this one exam, you will be able to apply to 2 places, that is in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. And obviously both these programs in Dubai and Abu Dhabi are excellent. They have very good training for all specialties. So you start preparing and sending out your applications in the month of April. So it's a long process. The application process is so lengthy and you need to fill out tons of information, both about personal information and about your credentials from medical school, about your internship, etc. and send it out. If you only want to apply to Dubai, that's fine. If you want to apply to both Dubai and Abu Dhabi, you can do that too. Once you send out your applications in April, I think at the end of April, they stop accepting any more applications, and in the month of May, they send out your invites for interviews. Now, this is obviously a very stressful period. Even I was so stressed out during this period because I was sort of refreshing my email every single day, trying to see if I got an invite to interview. But once you get your invite for the interview, then it's about preparing for your interview, because there are so many applicants to the programs here in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi that they try to filter you as much as possible. So initially their filter is based on your grade in the MStrix exam. So that's why I say, even for the exam, try to get the best possible score you can. The second way they filter applicants is through your interviews, obviously. So the interview is very different when you compare Dubai to Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, depending on what specialty you've applied for, the interview board will be asking you questions specific to that specialty. So if you're applying for, let's say, pediatrics, they will be asking you scenarios about pediatrics specifically. So they will give you probably a case scenario, and they will ask you, how do you manage? Now, manage this patient. This is your patient. I am the mother or I am the father, and tell me how you will manage this patient. But in Dubai, they take a little different route. They stress a lot on medical ethics. So brush up on your medical ethics principles before you go to that interview, because they will definitely be asking you a ton of questions about ethics and very specific detailed scenario, which sometimes puts you in a dilemma, thinking, what's the right thing to do here? But that's the way they assess you. And if you again want me to make a video dedicated to how to prepare for these interviews, both for Dubai and Abu Dhabi, again, let me know in the comments bar below, and I will work on that video as well for you guys. Once you are done with your interviews, that's a point at which you feel very relieved that you're done with the whole application process. But it's also very stressful, because then the waiting begins, and you keep waiting for them to get back to you with a reply, whether they have accepted you or whether they've rejected you, and finally know where you are going to start residency, if at all. Unfortunately, the selection process is so strict here. I know so many of my friends who applied for residency this year itself, and so many of them did not match, and it's really sad to see that they are just unmatched and they don't know what to do next. And yeah, so try to do your best both for the exam and the interviews, and maximize your chances of getting accepted. You will hear about where you've been accepted, if you've been accepted at all, by the end of July. And usually they contact you via email, letting you know whether you've been matched to their program or not. And yes, that's such a stressful time period where you're waiting, trying to figure out and trying to make sense out of whether you would make it or not, or whether you would be accepted or not. However, I tried to deal with my stress in the best possible way that I could. I obviously stressed a lot, but eventually when I got that email that I was accepted into general surgery residency in Dubai, I was so excited, and literally it was such an emotional time for me and my family. I was so happy because I knew that this is the beginning of a new phase of my life, and looking back, I feel all of it was so worth it. Preparing for the qualifying exam, preparing for the interview, that stressful wait after the interview was all stressful but so worth it in the end. So guys, I hope this whole timeline was helpful for you, and that you got this information that you were really hoping to get. And if you have any more questions about this whole process, leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And also, as I mentioned before, if you want me to make a separate video about how to prepare for this exam and how to prepare for the interview specifically for Dubai and specifically for Abu Dhabi, I will also work on that video for you guys. I think the first exam for the next year has already passed, and I saw some of the interns talking about it at the hospital. So the first exam is already done, but there are 4 more exam dates for those of you who are here in Dubai and would like to take the exam. And please keep giving me your suggestions for future videos. I absolutely love reading your suggestions, and I do take take a note of them and I will work on videos for you guys, because that's what I'm here for, to help you guys with whatever dilemmas you have or whatever questions you have for me. And also, as a side note, I'm planning to do a Q&A video for you guys because so many of you have been asking me a ton of questions both on Instagram and on YouTube, and I thought the best way probably for me to answer all of these questions is through a Q&A video. I will post a video on Instagram under which you should leave all your questions. The questions can be related to the U assemblies, it can be in relation to residency, it can be questions about me. Please leave your question below this picture, which I will post on Instagram. And I'm sorry, but I will only be answering questions which are posted below that picture on my Instagram account, because otherwise it would be just too difficult for me to find the questions from everywhere, from all kinds of social media. So just to make it easier for you and me, if you do want your question to be answered, please leave your question below that picture that I just showed you, and hopefully I will answer that question in my next Q&A video. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to press that red subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And until I see you guys in my next video,